What's up, everybody? Art Turner, Data Productions Media, where we scheme our dreams into existence. I have another module for you guys today for the Gematria Decoding Masterclass. We're going to be going over master numbers, Marty Leeds, and more. So if you haven't watched the first module on the basics, please go back and watch that one first before getting into this module. We're building on top of the things we've been learning with this Gematria Decoding Masterclass. I mean, even though this is module 2, we're still going over a lot of the basics. You know, there's no reason to rush and get into the more advanced level things if we don't have a good base and a good, foundation for us to work off of. All right? So let's get into the master class. And I just want to start off with a quote. I'm going to try to start off with a quote every module just to, get our brain moving and understand why we are doing this. So this is a quote from Darcy Wentworth Thompson, and he says, "The harmony of the world is made manifest in form and number. In the heart and soul of all the poetry of natural philosophy are embodied in the concept of mathematical beauty," which coincides with gematria and numerology, which we like to work with, all right? Encoding letters and numbers into words and everything. So that's the quote we're going to be going off of today in Module 2, Master Numbers, Marty Leeds, and more. Let's get into the disclaimers. I'm not going to go over everything with the disclaimers and things this go around. If you want more of an explanation, go to Module 1. I just want to say, look, while this is a master class, I am by no means a master. I've been decoding under a year up to this point, but I've been feverishly studying and learning from other talented Gematria decoders. Here's the list of talented decoders I've already went through in the past, but I did add one to the mix. It was Marty Leeds. I want to give a shout out to True Gematria on the my first module. Thank you for letting me know who Marty Leeds is. He uses natural, organic math magic, and he's really good. He uses the Bible. He mostly uses the Septenary Cipher, but I love his work so far. He goes into anatomy, astrology, everything. He's kind of opened my eyes to another subsection of gematria, numerology, and math magic in general. So thank you, True Gematria, for pointing him out to me. And he's added to the list now. So if you want to go over the list again, just pause the video and you can look over if you don't know any of these names. I do give explanations on the past decoders I've talked about in Module 1. Here is Data Production's Pre-Decoding Pillars. To keep it short, everyone perceives the creator's code differently. Do not judge or criticize someone's decoding method. If you feel as though somebody can improve on their decodings with more concise readings, be a teacher. Okay, we're all on the same team trying to figure out this matrix in the creator's message. Awareness is the goal, and it's not who is better at finding the messages. Number 2, do not fit a square peg in a round hole. While decoding, use common sense. Be logical. When you're trying to teach others this knowledge, it has to make sense for them. So we have to go bare bones basics and don't get too advanced, okay? There's a time and a place for that when you're talking within the community, but when you're talking to somebody who doesn't have experience with this stuff, keep it basic, keep it simple. And we live in a world of polarity, of positive and negative charges. So remember, these numbers can be used in a positive manner, in a negative manner. Okay? It's not just negative, it's not just positive. We will live in a world of polarity. So remember that while going forward and finding numbers, okay? If you still have a little bit of trouble what gematria is, and you haven't watched Module 1, watch this tutorial video. It gives a little bit more background and a little bit more of the history of gematria. You'll see this in a lot of my videos I put in because I put those in there just in case somebody new to the topic. I give them a little bit of a background so they can go and do more research themselves. So I'm just going to play the video here. If you've already seen it, just go to the next timestamp and we'll get started with the master numbers.
Gematria is a numerological system by which Hebrew letters correspond to numbers, but we will be utilizing the English alphabet for our decoding today. So, in simple terms, ABC equals 1, 2, 3. This system, developed by practitioners of Kabbalah, Jewish mysticism, derived from Greek influence, and became a tool for interpreting biblical texts. One can then calculate the numerical value of a word by adding together the values of each letter in it. In the realm of biblical interpretation, commentators based an argument on numerological equivalence of words. If a word's numerical value equals that of another word, a commentator might draw a connection between these two words and the verses in which they appear and use this to prove a larger conceptual conclusion. Gematria is essential to Kabbalah, the Jewish mystical tradition. The very basis of the Kabbalistic cosmological system rests on the beliefs that God created the universe through letters, numbers, and words. Indeed, the many names of God and their permutations in Kabbalah have numerical values that are believed to contain potent power. And for numerology, it is a study of numbers in your life. You can uncover information about the world and also each individual person by using numerology. Numerology is seen as a universal language of numbers. So when you add Gematria and numerology together, you have a powerful combination of occult knowledge to work with while breaking down games. There are many different ciphers one can use, but the top 4 we will be using are the English ordinal, ABC equals 1, 2, 3, its reverse, where Z equals 1 and A equals 26. Then we have the pure English reduction ciphers, or otherwise called the Pythagorean cipher, which is A equals 1 all the way to I equals 9. Then it resets at J equaling 1, K equals 2, and so on, and then it's reverse. So how I can make these calculations really quick and really easy is going to gematrianator.com. It has all the different ciphers you can use. It starts with the top 4 ciphers that we primarily will use on this page, but it can get even deeper with that with other ciphers. So go check this out once you want to do your own research. Thank you to Derek, the creator of the Gematrianator website. Go check out his YouTube channel, Gematrianator85. Or you can have the Gematria calculator on the app. That's from Zachary K. Hubbard. That will help you with your research as well. Shout out to Zachary K. Hubbard for waking me up to the scripting not only in sports, but in regular day society. Check out his YouTube channels, Gematria Effect News and Gematria Effect Sports. This may be confusing at first, but this is a systematic code that was created thousands of years ago. And to put it bluntly, religion is a major part of our world. The elite ruling class have been using sport since the Roman times to cast spells and captivate the population.
Okay, we're on to the master numbers now. These are very important numbers when it comes to, math magic in general. And so I'm excited to talk about these. And the 3 we're going to talk about are 11, 22, and 33. But obviously we're going to start off with 11. So the master number 11. The 11 is the most intuitive of all numbers. It represents illumination, a channel to the subconscious, insight without rational thought, and sensitivity, nervous energy, shyness, and practicality. It's a dreamer. So it goes into a little bit of a personality of a master number 11 as well. It's also enhanced and charged with charisma, leadership, and inspiration. It is a number with inborn duality, which creates dynamism, inner conflict, and other catalysts with its mere presence. A number that, when not focused on a goal beyond itself, can be turned inward to create fear and phobias. So that's a little bit about the master number 11. Please start doing your own research. If you have 11 in your name in Gematria or numerology, do research on that because you can start figuring out things about yourself as well. Master number 22, known as the master builder number. The 22 is the most powerful number. It symbolizes precision and balance, and as a result can lead to great success. A 22 will often have to experience life's difficulties, before they can learn to keep a level head when the pressure mounts. It is important that a 22 does not waste its potential. It has the ability to make dreams a reality, but to do so, it must remain strong even in the face of adversity. A 22 must stay positive and focused and strive to build on something for the greater good. So again, personality part of the number 22, and at the top bullet point is known as the most powerful number. All right, it symbolizes precision and balance. And when you have those two, great success comes. Master number 33. 33 is just encoded in my life. And as I keep doing this research, I'm starting to find just more, connections to the number, and it's starting to make sense for what road I'm going down, and hopefully I become successful in. The 33 is the most influential of all the numbers. It is the master teacher. The 33 combines the 11 and the 22 and brings their potential to another level. When expressed to the fullest, the 33 lacks all personal ambition and instead focuses its considerable abilities towards the spiritual uplifting of mankind. What makes the 33 especially impressive is the high level of sincere devotion. It is shown in its determination to seek understanding and wisdom before preaching to others. The 33 in full force is extremely rare. This number resonates with me totally. And, at the bottom it says 33 tries to seek understanding and wisdom before preaching to others. Hopefully you guys don't think I'm preaching to you. I'm just making videos off things I'm learning, and I'm trying to share it with you guys, just to help out the conscious collective. So, like I said before, I am by no means a master, but I am going to be a student and be a teacher where I can, as I hope you guys can be a teacher to me and vice versa, a student. So the 33 is a big number in my life. I do have sincere devotion to help humanity with this knowledge, and it's just becoming more apparent. And so it's a very important number. And the Trinity of Enlightenment. So this is where Gematria comes into play. You can start seeing the correlations with the master numbers to certain words. These master numbers obviously are 11, 22, and 33. It represents the Trinity. Master number 11 is vision. All right, you see Jesus. He's 11. Wasn't Jesus the vision back in the day? Didn't he hold the vision for people for a better life, to have more spirituality, and to figure yourself out? And it's in the purest reduction cipher, which is very important. If you only had one cipher to work off of in your life, in your world, this is the one to work with. And Jesus, lo and behold, equals 11 in reduction. Master number 22 is vision in action. The master builder. All right, look, he has the vision, and he puts it into action to manifest it. And that's why you see master equals 22 in reduction. When you become a master of something, you have that vision and you brought it to life. You manifested it. So no coincidence that master equals 22 in the reduction cipher. And then finally, the master number 33 is world guidance, the master teacher number. Whether you think it's positive or negative or not, Masonry equals 33 in the full reduction cipher. Masonry does have a bad rep, and for a lot of reasons, because of the Freemasons, being part of the world controllers of our matrix, but they do equal 33 in reduction. And if they are part of the world controllers, they do offer world guidance, whether it's positive or negative. So no coincidence that Masonry equals 33 in the purest reduction cipher. So this is the Trinity of Enlightenment. 11, 22, 33. 11 is vision, 22 is vision in action, and 33 is world guidance, and is backed up with Gematria. So hopefully that gives you something to wrap your head around, and please do more research for yourself and let me know in the comment section of what you find. But staying on the number 33 and Marty Leeds, I'm going to show you a video of what he did on the vertebrae in the human anatomy. Again, I like Marty Leeds' work. I just found him recently, but he's been tremendously valuable. And that quote I got from earlier was from a book called A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe, The Mathematical Archetypes of Nature, Art, and Science. Now, I was watching one of his videos on YouTube, and he suggested this book. Funny enough, I've already bought this book on my list of things to read, but when he said that, I immediately started reading it the next day. And that that Darcy Wentworth Thompson quote, I got that from that book. So I think it just coincides what we're doing on these modules. Let's get into this video, and then we'll get into some more stuff afterwards.
Where do we get the number 33? On our backs. 33 is on our backs. It's the number of bones in the spinal column. We do simple arithmetic, not numerology. This is not, you're not giving me your birth date and I'm finding your life path number and then I'm going to go to my tarot deck and then give you some interpretation of what I think is going to happen to you and grab my crystal ball and give you some prophecy and then charge you $98 for that. Okay, that's not what we're doing here. We're adding 1 to 33 and then looking at the divisors. 1 through 33, you look at the divisors, it's 864, which means what? You have light. 864, that's right here. Okay? 33 bones in your spinal column, with the spinal column clearly being representative, once again, if you study symbolism, of health, medicine, and spirituality. There's just no question. Spinal column equals 33. So, crafted into the design of the temple of you is the light of God onto your back, right? 1 through 33, 561, you add those divisors, it's 864. That points to Christ. So, why I call this lecture, God's Got Your Back. Get it? Who has 33 bones in their spinal column? The Jews? Yes. The Hindus? Yes. The blacks? Yes. The whites? The yellows? The reds? The people in the northern and southern hemispheres? Well, they don't exist, because that doesn't exist. But you get my point. It's eternal, right? Okay. That's it.
Okay, guys, hopefully you liked that Marty Leeds video. Go check out his channel, subscribe, and watch his work. He's a wealth of knowledge. And one thing I've noticed is he loves using the Septenary cipher. It's the holy cipher 1 through 7, and he uses that mostly. And so I felt like this was a good time to get into the Septenary and Chaldean ciphers and the differences between them, but also the similarities. There was a couple other comments in the first module 1 who wanted me to go over the Septenary and Chaldean cipher, and it just goes in together. So I have a passage from Zachary K. Hubbard's book, Letters and Numbers, going over the Septenary and Chaldean cipher and similarities, and we're just going to dive a little bit deeper after I go over this passage. Now let us transition to the next 2 ciphers, which I will teach at once. They are known as Septenary Gematria and Chaldean Gematria, and have many parallels. As you see, for Septenary, A equals 1, G equals 7, and then H equals 6, I equals 5, J equals 4, K equals 3, L equals 2, M equals 1. So it goes up, it goes down, and then M starts at 1, T goes to 7, and then U starts at 6, and Z is 1. So it goes up, then goes down. The Chaldean Gematria cipher, it starts with A equals 1, then it gets kind of funky, because the great thing about Chaldean cipher, and which I'm going to show a video on it, it goes off the vibrations of the sound. And so it gets kind of funky, where you'll see F equals 8, G equals 3, H equals 5, I equals 1, J equals 1, and then it gets pretty funky. So pause the video if you want to just look at the cipher a little bit more. And this is what Zach says about these ciphers. What I can tell you about these ciphers is quite frequently a given word will equate to the exact same values in both ciphers, as different as they might appear. I have only been working with these ciphers for less than a year at the time of writing this book, but again and again, the numbers they generate are so pertinent to the topic I'm often researching. For example, in Chapter 2, we learned how 47 was a very special number to Washington, D.C., easily the most relevant number to the city out of all numbers. By no surprise, using both Septenary and Chaldean, Washington, D.C. equates to 47. And as you can see, Washington, D.C. equals 47 in Septenary and 47 in Chaldean. On a related note, knowing that there are 47 degrees on the Freemason compasses and the Masonic headquarters, the House of the Temple, is located in D.C., it is important to mention that many former members of Freemasonry who have climbed to the highest ranks have discovered that in the upper echelons, the fraternity is completely satanic and quickly aborted ship. Using both methods, Satanic Temple also equates to 47. In the ordinal cipher, the word beast also equates to 47. So you see from this passage, there are some similarities in these ciphers. So let's get in a little bit deeper with the Septenary cipher and see some of the connections with 7, okay? So the Septenary cipher. Marty Leeds uses this cipher a lot, like I said previously. It's a holy cipher in the Bible, and it has emphasis on the number 7. Now, if you look, the number G represents God. Obviously, G equals 7 in English ordinal, 7 in reduction, single reduction, full reduction with the K and V with the master numbers, single reduction, K, V, master numbers, English extended, Jewish reduction, Jewish ordinal, and Jewish, and septenary. A lot of 7s for G. So that tells me that, septenary is very important. 7 is very important to life and to God. All right? God created the world in 6 days, resting on 7. Sunday. 6 sides making 1 cube. 6 sides resting on 1 cube, making 1 cube, which is 7. So we see the importance of septenary. Now, to get a little bit more deeper in the Chaldean cipher, I had created a video recently in my Nephilim KD video where I go over it just a little bit more numerology-wise. So we're going to watch it here because it's still pertinent now.
And Kevin Durant is a fallen angel equals 88 in Septenary and 88 in Chaldean. Chaldean gematria and numerology is important to learn about. Originating in Babylonia, Chaldean numerology is an older system of Pythagorean numerology, while some practitioners consider Chaldean slightly more accurate than Pythagorean. It's less popular because of its fairly high difficult level of calculation. Chaldean numerology is based on sounds and vibrations. Numbers are assigned to the letter vibrations that they suit best rather than in sequential order. The energies represented in the number were believed to correspond to planets and other heavenly bodies, in addition to the energies that create life. Those who practice Chaldean numerology believe that the system carries spiritual and mystical messages. The correspondence in Chaldean isn't systematic, which requires you to memorize the values. Additionally, the Chaldean approach only assigns the value of 1 through 8, reserving 9 as holy. However, if the sun resolves to a 9, it is retained.
Okay, hopefully you liked that video on the Chaldean numerology gematria. Again, it uses vibrational sounds to match the numbers to the word. So it's a little bit different to septenary, but at the same time, if God created sounds to match to words and everything, and septenary is the holy cipher, there would be a lot of connections. So everything's systematic, right? And here's just a couple matches I've found that go along with it. The logos. So the logos is essentially everything. It can be considered the word. So that's why you see the logos equaling 37 in septenary and 37 in Chaldean. The logos is everything. The word equals 33 in septenary and 33 in Chaldean. Going back to 33, the vertebrae, the master number, very important stuff. Spelling equals 31 in septenary and 31 in Chaldean. Wording equals 28 in Septenary and 28 in Chaldean. All these words and phrases align together to help make our world, and arguably, they match in the two most holy ciphers, in my opinion. So this is pretty cool, right? Okay, let's get into prime numbers. And prime numbers are very important to your decoding bag, your decoding toolbox as well, because if you understand the prime numbers, it just adds a little bit more of a wrinkle into your storyline, and it just brings everything cohesively together. So primes are the set of all numbers that can only be equally divided by 1 and themselves, with no other even division possible. For example, numbers like 2, 3, 5, and 7, and 11 are all prime numbers. If you are looking for primes, then half of all possible numbers can be taken off the table right away. The evens, along with all multiples of 3, 4, 5, and so on. There are an infinite number of primes, but become less frequent. Here's some of the list of prime numbers. I know it's kind of small, but let's just go in a little bit. You can see the list of prime numbers here, all the way up to 1,000. You can find this online. It's pretty easy to find. But I do like using this website to find prime numbers. So we'll just bring this up now. So this is the prime number generator I like using. Just personally, this is what I like to use. I like its aesthetic. So look, if you put in 137, you get, number 137 is a prime. It's the 33rd prime. You see how I use this in my videos. Let's put another number in to see what we get. Number 125 is not a prime. So this is the number generator I like using. You might have another one you like to use, but this is the one I use, and yeah, it helps when I start decoding things. Importance of prime numbers. There are dozens of important uses for prime numbers. Cicadas time their life cycles by them. Modern screens use them to define color intensities of pixels, and manufacturers use them to get rid of harmonics in their products. However, these uses pale in comparison to the fact that they make up the very basis of modern computational security. They are an unreducible part of the very fabric of the universe. That's why it's very important to use prime numbers when you're decoding things. They are an irreducible part of the very fabric of the universe. That just is what it is. Before finishing up the video, let's now get into the mysticism of prime numbers. Prime numbers have occupied human attention since ancient times and were even associated with the supernatural. Even today, in modern times, there are people trying to provide prime numbers with mystical properties. The well-known astronomer and science author Carl Sagan wrote a book in 1985 called Contact, dealing with extraterrestrials, trying to communicate with humans using prime numbers as signals. The idea that signals based on prime numbers could serve as a basis for communication with extraterrestrial cultures continues to ignite the imagination of many people to this day. So that's the importance, mysticism of prime numbers. So that's why when you see a decoder bring up, oh, this is the 33rd prime, this is the 54th prime, the 56th prime, they're not just trying to put things together all willy-nilly. It's important. These are important because they're irreducible. They can only be divided by themselves in one. That's what makes them very special, right? So keep that in mind. That's Module 2 today. A little bit more of a quicker one, I would hope, so I can keep doing more modules in the future. Just going back to what we did, we went over master numbers, the Trinity of Enlightenment with the master numbers. I gave you a little video of Marty Leeds, the number 33 in the human anatomy, got into the Septenary and Chaldean ciphers, gave you some insight on those, how G and 7 is very important to Gematria and language in general. God created the world in 6 days, resting on 7, a 6-sided cube, making, 7, that one cube. Some matches, some very important matches, the logos, the word, spelling, wording, all matching, and then the prime numbers and its importance. So hopefully you got some value out of this video today. And if you have any more things you want me to go over in these upcoming modules, just let me know in the comment section, right? I don't want to put everything just in one video. I want to make this, short, concise, systematic, so I can keep producing these in the future. But I'm just going to end this module again with the quote we started with from Darcy Wentworth Thompson. The harmony of the world is made manifest in form and number. The heart and soul of all poetry of natural philosophy are embodied in the concept of mathematical beauty. And if you need some reading just on the world, I just started it. I'm on chapter 2, A Beginner's Guide to Constructing the Universe, the Mathematical Archetypes of Nature and Science. Voyage to 1 to 10, Michael Schneider. Look up this book. I love it so far. Thank you, Marty Leeds, for actually get to the book. I've had it for a while. That's it. Art Turner, D.A.T.A. Productions Media. Dreams are tangible aspirations where we scheme our dreams into existence. Please like, please comment, please share this if other people need to learn this knowledge. I have a Patreon if you want to support. Sign up to my email list just in case I ever get censored one day so I can get back in touch with you guys. I want to keep doing this, all right? Without further ado, I'm ending it here. I'll see you in Module 3, and, hopefully it's going to be an exciting one when I sit down and do it. You guys have a good one.